Last but not least, Newcastle 1, Liverpool 2. Firstly, thank you to Trent Alexander-Arnold for getting a yellow card and a 1-pointer, because it made my transfer him out all the more satisfying.
You could have got your red card and made it even.
Yeah, possibly. Newcastle's going to be hugely disappointed, because for them to go down to 10 men, to be in the lead 1-0, and to be playing better and dominating the game, again, you want to be able to kill it and finish it off. And this whole transition period of making it from the pretenders into the top 6 or Champions League contenders, they've lost to City and Liverpool back-to-back in 2 weeks. And it just kind of brings you back down to earth a little bit, when they have been doing and playing so well after the win on the opening day of the season. No panic stations here for Newcastle, just, I would say, a bit of disappointment and perhaps a little bit of back to reality and knowing what hard work it's going to take to get them up there. But Darwin Núñez, if we've given him grief for some stuff, finishing is definitely one of them. He buried both of them.
Brilliant goals.
That was at the point I was like, okay, you know what? That you can finish. Like, you just hit the target, you can finish. And it was the striker that we thought they'd bought, right? They were both well taken, but smacked of a player in confidence.
If I knew he was going to start Saturday, I'd come by him.
Really?
Yeah, without hesitation.
Who are they playing again?
Villa at home.
Ooh.
His goals record is good. He's well underperformed his XG last year. Obviously, on a day like Sunday, he's obviously well overperformed it. I'm absolutely convinced that Liverpool will do much better with him up front. I think his chaos creates space for others. And I think it will do really well. When me and Clayton did the piece in pre-season about which player did we think would kind of, which players would really have a better second season and improve, we were both unanimous. Darwin Núñez top of that list. If Klopp's come out and said, yeah, Núñez starts Saturday, I'd buy him.
Who would you sell?
João Pedro.
Okay.
I'm commit to that. That's where I'm going. And get that ready for later on. And obviously the fixtures in front, because it's Wolves 5, West Ham 6, it's Tottenham away, Brighton away 7 and 8, and then that really good run begins in game week 9. And I know obviously he's not going to play all those games, but at that value, yeah, I think he could be brilliant. But I'm not going there if I don't think he's going to start, and I wouldn't have no clue at the moment. They did start with Gakpo false 9, which they picked the team that I predicted they would on the team news stream, the deadline stream, which didn't have Jota in it, because I thought there was every chance, I should say, that Trent would play as a more orthodox right back, and they would try and box around Gomes, which meant having Gakpo plus one of the 8s on either side, plus Endo and another one bit deeper. So they played McAllister in a more advanced role, and Szoboszlai kind of sat in a bit more. I didn't watch all this game, to be totally honest, but that's how they tried to set up. So Jota could very easily come back in the team for the Villa game as well, because Jota's not done anything particularly wrong in the first couple. It was a tactical tweak, was the reason he came out of the team. But obviously, I was at Wembley Saturday. Shout out to my friend Callum Mates and friends from Romania. Had a really good day Sunday at Wembley. Thank you. Obviously, I was travelling there and knew that Newcastle were winning and Van Dijk had been sent off. When Callum said to me, to be honest, I forgot about the game, to tell you the truth, because I just thought, well, Newcastle win comfortably from here. It was almost the side that I would trust the most to go on and finish that off and arguably win quite comfortably. When Callum told me that Liverpool had won, I couldn't believe it. I literally said to him, you're lying. Couldn't believe it. So, look, we've given Newcastle a lot of praise over the last couple of years. They have to take some criticism here for not finishing that off. Because you want to be a top side, you get yourself in those sort of positions you've got to, because Newcastle started the game really well in any case. Go and finish it off. It just, because Liverpool went down to 10, it maybe it's similar to what we just said about City. Just like a little bit, like the intensity level stepped off. It felt like watching bits of the game back, it felt like the crowd kind of eased off a little bit in atmosphere. There became more of an expectancy rather than anticipation, if you will. And that is a blow to lose like that. Admittedly, Núñez's 2 finishes are weldy. They're proper good finishes. And he probably doesn't take either of those chances this time last year. I think he's a top forward, Suj, and I'd be really interested in getting him. Sven Botman is a doubt, as you'd mentioned earlier. And if he's missing for the Brighton game, that spells trouble. So I'll go Pedro to Núñez. Núñez won't start. Pedro will. Pedro will go mad because Botman's injured. It's a sort of trailer. This is what happens in your FPL mind when you start thinking about things. Newcastle have a good run that kind of starts game week 5, but then that's also down to how we interpret that, because it's Brentford at home. Where does that fall in line? We know
if it's St James's, it's a good.
Yeah, but Brentford will go to Newcastle. They'll change it up. They'll go 5-3-2. We already know that. They'll change it up. So maybe it starts in 6 when they go to Sheffield United. Isak's right on radar. Trippier is obviously Botman, to be fair, at his price bracket. He probably, if they'd have started with easier fixtures, most of us would have ended up starting with him, and his ownership would have been huge at the start of the season. And I think we should now keep an eye on Anthony Gordon at 5.5.
Okay.
If he's going to play there regularly, he's a threat. He took the goal well. He gave Liverpool a lot of trouble in the first half. Trent was obviously really unlucky with the first yellow card, or the yellow card he did get, but was then lucky not to get the second yellow. The Van Dijk red, did you think it was a red?
Yeah.
I can't make my mind up on it, to tell you the truth.
He kicks through.
He does.
He takes him out.
Yes.
And if he didn't, Isak would be in on goal with a shooting opportunity, 1-on-1.
It also came across as a genuine attempt to win the ball. My understanding was...
He wiped him out.
He didn't really wipe him out.
He swung through and took him out. It was a red. Firstly, was it a foul?
I'm not sure.
Was it a foul?
Yeah.
Was he last man?
But I also
Was he last man?
I also think that there's no way...
Is that a yes?
If the referee had not seen it, yes, he was.
So there we go. It's a foul and he's last man. It's a red card.
But he's fouled him and then he stopped the ball.
Who stopped the ball?
Van Dijk.
Yeah, but you still fouled him.
So all I'm saying is, how far away was he?
What do you draw the line at?
No,
foul's a foul. It's a red card. That's unfortunate. Sometimes it's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is.
If the referee hadn't given the decision on the pitch, there is no way VAR sent him over.
No, I think they would have, because he kicked through, because it was contact.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, for me, that was one where there was not much doubt. Like, it's on the softer end of red cards, but it was a foul because he took him out and he was the last man. Isak was in with a chance to shoot on goal, and only the keeper to beat. I think it's got to be given.
Actually, a great spot on the field that it was given as a foul.
Yeah.
I think when I first saw the instant, I thought he's won the ball there.
Yeah, maybe.
So it was a good spot from the referee. I can't remember who was refereeing, to be totally honest. Luis Diaz as well, 7.7. I wouldn't rule it out. He had a specific job. Obviously, he was hooked quite early against Newcastle, partly because of, actually, almost definitely because of the red card. But he had a specific job to go quite deeper against Kieran Trippier as well. He was doing fine. And he's back to full fitness, I think. So Diaz at 7.7 is a name I won't rule out this week as well. But he's more one to keep an eye on. And in terms as well, Suj, in terms of thinking about holding that money back for, say, Salah for that brilliant run, I'm thinking about it more and more and asking, well, can I go down the route of things like Diaz and Núñez instead, and Jota even, rather than forcing in Salah and having to break the structure and stuff? And that might be what I decide to do, is go with sort of 2 or 3 like that and just go, right, it will be what it will be on the rotation, but I know there'll be contributions across the board here.
Yep.